Hello everyone. In this video, I'll be showing us how to make a short sleeve, raw and buba. If this is your first time here, make sure to click on the subscribe button to subscribe and ensure to put on your notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a new video. You're welcome to VAP Fashion's YouTube channel. My name is Eunice. So let's get right into the video. And I'll be making use of this African print for our buba. So first, to determine the amount of fabric to fold, the measurement you need is the measurement from your center back to the desired sleeve length, to how wide you want the buba to be. And for my client, from the center back to her upper arm is 14 inches. That is how wide this buba is going to be. So when taking this measurement, you need to put into consideration the biggest circumference you are working with. And here her bust circumference is 45 inches and her hip circumference is 15. So meaning that 50 is bigger because the buba will get to the hip line. 50 is bigger. And normally we divide our measurement by 4. So when you divide 50 by 4, you have 12.5. So that's going to be the hip, that's the hip measurement. So remember I said that the measurement we are working with from the center back to the desired sleeve length is 14 inches. That's how wide the buba will be. So you can see that 14 is bigger than the hip divided by 4, which is 12.5. So now you need to put that into consideration. So you can see that 14 is wide enough to pass over the hip. So why am I taking my time to explain this? If you take the measurement from the center back and stop maybe at 11 inches, the 11 inches is smaller than the hip measurement. So meaning that the buba will not sit well on the body because it will not pass over the hip. It will be tight around the hip area. So whatever measurement you are working with from your center back to the desired sleeve length should be bigger than the hip measurement. I hope that is clear. So now we'll go ahead and fold our fabric. So already I mentioned that the width of the buba is going to be 14 inches. So plus 1 inch for my sewing allowance, that's 15. And then the length of this buba is going to be 25 inches. Plus my hemming allowance of 2 inches, that's 27 inches. So I'm going to fold this into 4. Here now I have the length of the buba and that is 27 inches. This is a little more than the length, but that's fine. So this is the length now. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out the fabric so that we work exactly with what we need. So this is our length right now. I'm going ahead to fold the width of the buba. And I already said I'm working with 15 inches. 14 is the measurement from the center back to the upper arm. So which is this point, 14 inches, and then plus my sewing allowance of 1 inch. I'm not going to be cutting out this part because this wrapper has a particular pattern. So I'm trying to maintain this one at the center front. That's this side at the center front. So that's why I'm leaving it this way. So these parts facing me are the center front and the center back, and this is going to be the shoulder. So first I'm going to go ahead and mark 15 inches, which is the width of our buba, including the sewing allowance. So I'll go ahead and rule a straight line. So this is the width. Then next I'm going to mark the neck depth and the neck width. For buba, we use the same neck depth and neck width most times. And in this case, I'm using 4 inches, 4 by 4. The width is 4 inches and the depth is also 4 inches. So this is our neckline. And then the next thing I'm going to do now is to mark the length. Already I said I'm working with a length of 27. So this is where my 27 is. 27 is plus the hemming allowance. The actual length of the buba is 25 inches. So this is where 25 inches ends. So I'm just going to rule a straight line here. So this is it. So the next thing you want to do is the slit, which is optional. if you want to have a slit at the side here, this is how you're going to do it, because for me, I'm going to have a slit of this buba. The length of the slit is going to be 7 inches from the hem. That's from the hemming allowance, 7 inches. That means when I fold the hemming allowance, the slit is going to be 5 inches. Okay, so I'll mark here of 7 inches. So this is the length of the slit. So now that we have the length of the slit, I'll come out by 1 inch from this side. That's from the actual measurement. I'll come out by 1 inch. So I'm going to connect this 1 inch mark with a straight line. So this is going to be our slit. This is where our slit will be for the buba. So right now we are done drafting. I'll bring in my scissors and we'll cut it out. So, so this is what our buba looks like. And then we'll go ahead and cut out the neckline. So you can see, so this is what we have here. Can you see? So I'm maintaining this pattern at the center here. So now the next thing I'll do before we go ahead and cut the sleeve is to cut the facing. You can either use bias to turn the neckline or you cut a facing. I'll be cutting facing in this case. So to cut the facing, I'm going to fold the fabric into 4, just like I folded into 4 while drafting. So I'll place the buba over it like this. All you just want to do is to trace out the neckline you have here. At the neckline, you decide the shape you want the facing to be. I want the shape to be rounded like this. So I'm just going to cut out the facing. So now we have the facing. So you can see this is what it looks like. So before opening it up, you want to make sure to notch the part that is supposed to be here. You don't want to interchange them. Can you see that the shape is matching up? So I'm going to notch the shoulder part. This is the one that will sit on the shoulder so that you don't mistakenly interchange them. Okay? So you can see the facing is for both the front and back at the same time. This is because our buba does not have a shoulder slant. So you can see it is rounded. So now that I have my notch here, it's easy to just fold it back and I know where it's supposed to be. So the next thing now we want to do is to cut the sleeves. To cut the sleeve, you want to decide how wide too the sleeve is going to be. For this sleeve, it's going to start from the shoulder here up to 10 inches. Up to 10 inches, that's to this point, 10 inches. So you will decide how wide you want it to be. So this is very simple so that you don't make the sleeve too fitted. You can use the bust circumference divided by 6 and then plus 1.5. That will give you the actual armhole of the person. Then you can go ahead and add 1 inch to that measurement. Okay, so for my client, her bust measurement divided by 6 plus 1.5 is 9 inches. I added 1 inch to that measurement, so I'm using 10 inches. So plus my side seam allowance of 1 inch, so that's a total of 11 inches. And then the length of the sleeve. She already told me that she wants her buba to stop just a little bit below the elbow. Okay, so now you can see that here we already have her measurement from the center back to 14 inches. How do you determine the length of the sleeve? Because we already have some part of the buba falling below the shoulder. This is what you're going to do. The shoulder measurement divided by 2 for my client is 9 inches. 9 inches, and here I already have 14 inches. That's excluding my sewing allowance. So if it is 9 inches, that means that by the time I subtract 9 from 14, I am left with 5 inches. Okay, I'm left with 5 inches. So that means some part of the sleeve, 5 inches from her elbow measurement, has gone into the buba. Okay, and the length of her sleeve from the tip of her shoulder to the elbow length is 14 inches. So like I said, that 5 inches has gone into the buba already. So that means I'm going to subtract 5 from 14, and that will leave me with 9 inches. So the length of the buba sleeve is going to be 9 inches. Then I'll go ahead and add my hemming allowance of 2 inches. That will be 11 inches. And then I also need 1 inch for joining it to the buba. So that's going to be 12 inches in total. So the length of the sleeve is going to be 12 inches. That's if you are making a short sleeve buba. So if you want it long, the same process, and take it to how long you want the sleeve to be. So I'll place my fabric on fold. So I already said that the width of the sleeve is 10 plus 1, which is 11 inches. So here I have up to 11 inches. So let's just rule a straight line here. So this is where. So now from the starting line here, I'm going to measure the length of the sleeve plus hemming allowance and joining allowance, and that's 12 inches. So this is my 12 inches. So at this 12 inches mark, I'm going to bring down the same 11 inches I have here. And then I'll go ahead and connect it like this. You see, the sleeve is also straight. You are not shaping anything anywhere. Everything is just straight, straight, straight about the back. So first we need two of these, one for the left and one for the right. So I'll also place and cut the second one. So this is what our sleeve will look like, and see how it will be attached to the side. So now I'll open up the buba and show us how we'll be sewing our buba, because we are done with cutting. So this is what our buba looks like. So you can wear any side for the front and any side for the back. So first I'm going to place, this is the right side of my fabric. I'm going to place the facing, right side of the facing, facing the right side. Remember, I already notched the shoulder, so it's easy to identify. So this is our facing. Pin it this way. Neckline, I'm going to stitch on half inch round the neckline. For the sleeve now, the next thing you want to do is to make sure that you get the midpoint of the shoulder. So I'll fold back so that I can get the midpoint in order to place the sleeve correctly. And see, it is folded into two. And make sure to align your slit. So now that it's folded into two, I'll notch the shoulder here, the middle. I'll also do the same thing for this side. I'll open it up back again. And this is our sleeve. I'll also place the sleeve right side facing right side. That's after I must have notched the middle of the sleeve, just like I notched the middle of the shoulder. So, notched already. I'm going to place the notched part against the notched part. Make sure that they are facing each other, right side facing right side of the fabric, and then I'll pin. So I'll stitch on 1 inch, which is the sewing allowance I added. So we'll have it coming down like this when we're done. So I'm also going to pin the other side. So now I'll take this to my sewing machine, stitch on 1 inch here, like I already said. I'll repeat the same thing for the other side, and then turn the neckline with my half inch, and then I'm going to hem the down part of the sleeve with the hemming allowance I added, which is 2 inches. I'll hem the down part with 2 inches. I'll do the same thing for the other sleeve. I'll also hem the down part of our buba with the 2 inches I added on both sides. I'll hem them all and come back and show us the next thing to do. Done stitching the neckline. So go ahead and notch around the neckline. So you want to make sure to notch the seam allowance around the neckline. Be careful not to cut your stitch. So just notch round. And I'm going to turn it to the wrong side. To the wrong side, and then I'm going to give it a very good press. Here I'll go ahead and weave it. So now the next thing I'm going to do is to fold our buba like this. I'll place the right side facing right side. You see? So as you can see, I've gone ahead to hem the down part of our buba, and I've also hemmed the sleeve area. So now this is what I'm going to do. My sewing allowance is 1 inch. So I'll go ahead and mark that 1 inch. Remember that that's what I added from here. I'll mark 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, and the sleeve area like this, 1 inch. You see? So 1 inch here also. I'm going to mark it this way, and then I'll stop before the slit. You can see where our slit stops. So I'm going to stop my stitch exactly here at this point. So I'll repeat the same thing at this side. I'll mark the same 1 inch also. So as you can see, I've marked my 1 inch on both sides. So I'll take this to my sewing machine and stitch this way, following the shape. I'll take it sharp the way it is. Stitch on this 1 inch and stop above the slit here. And stop before the slit. I'll repeat the same thing here and stop before the slit. Then I'll come back and show us the next thing to do. Okay, so you can see I'm done stitching the sides on my 1 inch, and this is what we have. So the next thing I'm going to do is to close up the slit. So remember I have 1 inch extension here for the slit. So I'll first of all close this 1 inch by folding it this way. And you see, having folded the 1 inch, I will fold again. So now you can see this is the first 1 inch, which is the slit allowance. I'll fold it first and then I'll fold again. So now I'm folding the sewing allowance so that it aligns with where the stitch stops. I hope you understand that. So this is it. I'm just going to pin it down like this. I'll repeat the same thing for the other side by folding it once and then I will fold again. You see? I fold it again. So you can see it aligns with where the stitch, the line of the stitch. So exactly what I've done on this side, I will repeat on this side. Okay, so you can see I folded this side and I folded this side as well. So I'll take this to my sewing machine. This is how I'm going to leave it. I'll open it up like this. Then I'll stitch very close to the edge of the fold here. I'll stitch, and then when I get to this point where I have the opening, I'll go up by half of an inch and then cross it over to this side and stitch it down. So I'm basically stitching at the edge of the 1 inch I folded. I'll stitch this way, take it this way and bring it down. I'll repeat the same thing for the other side and then I'll come back and show us. So I'm done stitching the slits, and this is what we have. So you can see our buba is well and beautiful. So right now I don't have light because the next thing I'm supposed to do is to weave this area, weave this facing also, and place my hemming gum underneath. But I will do that when I have light. I don't have light for now. So take note of this. This is all you need to do. So for now, our buba is ready. So for this area, we cannot leave this area like this because it will not relax when you turn it to the right side. So in order to avoid any folding around the arm area, that's around this side, because this is it here, can you see? So I'm going to create a notch. You're going to notch the whole 1 inch. Can you see what I did? So you want to notch it so that you can allow this area to relax. I'll repeat the same thing here. You're going to notch diagonally as well, so that when you turn it inside out, everything will relax well. So you can see, because of the notch, can you see how it came out pretty well? Even without ironing, can you see that it's coming out really well? So it's not gathering, it's giving that relaxed effect. And this is what our neckline looks like. You see? So So here is the final outcome of our buba. For the iro, which is the wrapper, it's just 2.5 yards. I cut out from the African print fabric and I stitched the sides. So that's just basically it. There's nothing special about the iro, which is the wrapper. Let me show us what I'm talking about. This is the wrapper, which is the raw. I folded the sides with half of an inch and I repeated the same thing on the other side. This is 2.5 yards. So you cut your wrapper based on your size. For this person, she's a plus size, so 2.5 is what will go around her properly. But if you are the small size, 2 yards will be enough to go around your waistline. So I'm going to give this a good press and then wear it on the mannequin so that we can see the final outcome of our Iro and Buba. So if you have watched this video up until this point and you are yet to subscribe, please kindly click the subscribe button to subscribe. Ensure to put on your notification bell so you'll be the first to get a notification whenever I post a new video. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.